At least just gave up halfway through. I'm not even in the middle of the segment. There we are. That's it. I tell you, I want it. God, how's your weekend doing? Are we all good? Yeah. Fans of Starship Troopers in? Yeah. Give me a cheer if you've seen me host before this weekend. Like here. Yeah, you can. Okay. So.
Just seen you burned by a 13-year-old.
You just what happened?
Just seen you burned by a 13-year-old.
Right, okay. Should probably talk about what just happened in the last one. So in the last, she's not here actually, so I'm going to tell my side of the story. In the last panel, there was a 13-year-old evil genius who had a retort for anything I said and timed it perfectly where the audience stopped laughing with me and started laughing at me. Now, here's the fun thing. I actually thought, well, it's done now. I'll never have to think about it again because no one in the next one will possibly bring it up. And I'm also realising now something I told yesterday is that they're streaming this into the main auditorium as well. So I'm now realising that there's 20,000 people that also saw me get roasted by a 13-year-old, which is something only R. Kelly's ever said. So there's some... Wow! No, I take it too far. I know what I did. I know. Diddy party. Anyway. I've got to stop saying words, right? Oh my God, I need help. These have been so much fun, and these are your questions. I'm not going to ask too many questions of the cast. These are very much about what you guys want to know about them and the whole process. So if you do have questions, and I say do it immediately as well, because there's only like 45 minutes. There's podiums 1, 2, 3, and 4 that will be lit up. So if you have the questions, go there straight away and we'll do the questions pretty much from the get-go so you guys can find out exactly what it is. Yeah, they're already there, do it. It's like a queue of virgins, isn't it? There's I've got to stop, haven't I? This is, oh my Lord, there's something wrong. I thought I should save this for the tour. What was that? Am I on tour? I am on tour. I haven't actually brought it up this weekend, but I'm actually on tour from September onwards, actually, all the way through. I'm actually in Liverpool at the Royal Theatre. What was that? Where can you get tickets? Oh. He can't hear it. It's from my website, emmanuelstandup.com. It's all one word. All the tickets are there. Is it the same on Instagram? Yeah, it is, actually, yeah. All one word. How old are you, son? Not you. You're old enough for me to say what I like to you, but you, how old are you, mate? 8. Oh, you're going to learn some things today, probably. Are we ready to go? Right, we're going to get, you're going to have so much fun. Have you got any questions ready? Do you want to be my cheerleader? Right, it's very easy. All I need to do is you can stand up in the chair and start screaming as loud as you can, clapping your hands, and the whole room is going to join in. Then we're going to welcome the cast of the Starship Troopers to stage. Are you ready for this? It's a big responsibility. If you get it wrong, you'll ruin everyone's weekend. No, don't. It's not my kid, I don't care. You can do this. You're going to go, God, Sean, we'll do it with him. Everyone give him a round of applause and get going. You ready? There he is. Sit there anyway. Stupid children.
Lovely haircut.
Oh, how you guys doing?
Welcome to the Roughnecks.
Welcome to the Roughnecks.
Yeah.
And the fleet.
Oh, do you know what, the more people on the panel, I love it because we've got no idea where it's going to go, and it always gets really messed up by the time we've finished doing this. So this is going to be so much fun. How's your weekend been?
It's been terrific. It's been really busy. We love seeing all of you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us in your town. It's lovely.
Without fans, we wouldn't have a job, so we greatly appreciate all of you coming out, so thank you.
You're here.
And we get to see each other, so it's rare that we're all in the same place at the same time.
That's true.
And you guys are very fortunate and gifted because this, I believe, is the first appearance with the group made by Mr. Patrick Muldoon. He joins us for the first time here.
I'm very excited about that. And I know
Big round of applause for Mr. Patrick.
Oh,
Xander.
it's going to be okay. It's going to be. So, wait, how long ago was Starship Troopers?
28 years ago, we filmed it.
28 years ago,
Wait,
before
wait.
I was.
I thought it was 28 since it was released.
November 7th.
November 7th.
Yeah, so it's 27 or 28 years ago. There was like a little bit of it was a discrepancy. It's like, well, wait, no, we shot it when it was 27.
We shot it in 96, it came out in 97.
It was 100.
You guys are going to have to do the math because,
96 and 97. There's people here that weren't even born at that
All
time.
I gauge it by this. My daughter Grace was born October 15th, 1996, and I was in that water tank when you kissed it and said, "You're dead!" And the next day she was
Killed
born.
in action.
And then,
Killed in action.
yeah, killed in action. And you kissed the tank.
Yes.
That was on the 14th of October in 1996. And then she was born the next day, and that's how I know we filmed it in 1996.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
So she's 28. She's
So is it 20?
29 this year.
Okay, so 20.
Yeah, she's gonna be 29.
Does everybody feel a lot better now knowing this?
That's how I do math.
That is what, as you get older, that is exactly how you do math of when things happened. Now, I'll put it in context. What year were you born in? 2016. That's not a real age, is it? So 2016, 19.
But I love your mobile infantry hat. That's outstanding, Trooper. And is that a mobile infantry shirt? Outstanding. Welcome
Have
to
you
next.
seen the movie? He hasn't seen it.
He's not old enough to see the goddamn movie.
You saw the age-appropriate parts.
Let's see Scooby.
Yeah, what she said.
The age-appropriate parts. Just so we know how to treat this panel, what's the worst word you know?
Oh, the one Michael just said?
Yeah, worst swear word. Why, have you got others? What else do you know?
Well, you might learn a few new ones.
Oh, you're definitely
Michael?
going to learn a few new ones. Dax, you can't cover his ears now. You brought him here. This is all your fault. When you got a film, you think, nearly 30 years ago, did you think it would have this sort of impact that you'd be sat here now, like this many years later? Still, because you keep getting new generations of people that keep finding the film.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think that was going to happen?
We thought it was going to happen a lot sooner. We didn't think it was going to happen for as long as it's been happening.
Right.
You know, that's the thing. We thought it was going to be a huge success when it came out. And lo and behold, it didn't do as well as we all had hoped. But the fact that, 28 years later, we're here with all of you guys, and it kind of withstands the test of time. So we feel blessed and fortunate and happy to be here.
And on that same train of thought, Casper has a great little anecdote about how the release of this movie and the politics with the studios and the re-release of some Disney movies at the same time. It's a very interesting story, if you wouldn't mind briefly sharing what happened with the bait and switch and the kids. And
When Starship Troopers came out, it was rated R, and they put it, the studios, why? Because of nudity and butt killing.
There's pubes.
And a lot of stuff like that. But, if they had cut out a minute and 22 seconds, it would have been PG-13, but Paul wouldn't do that. And what happened is that, and I won't try to make it quick because it's a long story, but they kept putting it in theater, in the multiplexes in the States. People would go and buy tickets to, like, Mr. Bean and then watch Starship Troopers, 13 and 14-year-old boys. And the New York, I think it was the Washington Post, did a little article about getting 1,013 and 14-year-old boys to buy a ticket to Mr. Bean and sneak into Starship Troopers, and they were all able to do that. So the next weekend they were prepared, and they said, don't let any 13 or 14-year-old boys buy tickets to Mr. Bean and sneak in. So what they did is they did another one with the re-release of The Little Mermaid, 2 weeks. They moved it up, Disney did, put it in the same theaters as Starship Troopers, and all 1,013, 14-year-old boys were able to buy a ticket to The Little Mermaid and sneak into Starship Troopers. And it made 20-something million on its re-release, which was the highest it had done in a re-release for one of their cartoons.
The film originally was...
Saying that it was inaccurate. The numbers were inaccurate. Is
A
what
lot of kids were buying the tickets to
Right.
other movies and watching Starship Troopers.
The film was originally supposed to be a satire. If you've read the original book, it was a very right-wing, very hard-nosed, you shouldn't vote unless you kill people, all this stuff. Paul wanted to make a satire about it. Now in Europe, over here, everyone got it as a bit of a tongue-in-cheek story. You know, giving guns to kids and saying, do you want to know more? Go shoot something, this sort of thing. You know, having everyone being beautiful, there's not an ugly person in the bloody film except me. And it bombed pretty much in the States because I don't think there was politically savvy enough to see the satire in it. It took a long time for the United States to catch up through its own bloody fault. I'm Canadian, I can say that. That they understood there was a certain amount of political and military satire in it. You know, Europe understood it. We got reviews about us. I had people asking us, well, you remember they were the press release, they want to know why we were pro-Nazis and running around in Nazi uniforms. Are we pro-Nazism? Are we pro-right-wing? You know, and it was like, what the fuck? What movie did you see? There's going to be swear
Children,
words.
Michael, language.
There's going to be swear words. I'm not editing my goddamn self for one kid. Bite your father's hand, it's his fault. But it really was. It was meant to be a satire on the idea of totalitarianism, you know, all this stuff. And you know, Europe had been through it 3 or 4 times in the last century. America was green in those days. You know, everything was perfect. It was all cows and buffaloes and cowboys and, you know, assassinated Indians. So I won't even get to your side of the story.
I'm so happy right now. I love it when the bad stuff isn't being said by me. We'll go straight. A quick question, number one. And have you got, right, my height, have you got a guard next to you?
What? Yeah.
Everyone else can see that, right? That's not just...
I don't know, you just appeared.
Ah, fair enough. Okay, number one, what's your name, first of all?
Rhiannon,
And what's your question?
I've got a question. Did you steal anything from the set of
Yes.
Starship Troopers? Or did you take anything without them knowing?
Yeah,
Some did.
Who stole what?
I stole something from the set?
Yeah, did you?
Yes, I did. I took well, I don't know if I stole it or if they gave it to me, but the plastic gun that I was using on set, I have that. I didn't steal this, I was given this. When becoming an actor, and one of the best things is when we would get our director chair with our name on it, with the name of the movie on it. And so I have the director's chair with my name and the movie on it. But when people actually ask me, the advice I do give actors is to take something from set. Because you never know what movie is going to become this 30 years later. And it's nice to have a little memorabilia.
Do you guys still
from
have your
set.
script? Do you have your script?
I have my script.
I still have my
Oh, I
script.
have my
I have my
script,
script.
too.
Yeah, I have my
I
script
have the script
also,
too.
with all the notes.
But we're
and stuff.
given that, so we're not
Yeah,
stealing that.
Jake, why don't you tell us what you have because it's a really good story, and I think you should tell it.
I'm actually jealous.
Don't you guys want to hear his story? What
Yeah.
Yes?
My on our last day, we finished in the bug tunnels, and everybody did a big group photograph together, and it was big, teary goodbyes. There'd been 100 and something of us together for 5 months.
Except for me, because I died about a month ago. I mean, a month before they finished.
Yeah, but the rest of us that really mattered, we were all together. And
Don't care.
we did a big picture together, and so it was like, all right, good night, and because everybody was kind of, well, doing their own thing. They weren't paying attention to me, so I grabbed my director's chair and I just walked to my truck in my full battle gear with the helmet, with the rubber stunt gun over my shoulder, and got in my Dodge truck and
Drove away.
fired it up and drove home with my elbow out the window, going through.
Did they ever like contact you and say like, hey, where's your gear?
No, nobody.
No?
I think it was one of those things where we had so many of those. They had made like 1,000 of those uniforms. And I don't know how many times I've seen in newspapers and trade articles like, Jake Busey's Starship Trooper suit is for sale. And I'm like, really?
Well, one of them.
We had a lot of
We
them.
had different ones. We had different ones that had different like amounts
They
of
had
like
the stunt
dirt.
pants, they had the poo-poo
You had the
pants.
hero, and then you had like
The goo ones.
stressed ones that were a little bit dirty.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, they make
could've been one.
3 for each person.
Yeah.
But then they make the one suit that you don't get dirty. The one that you wear
The hero.
for indoor shots and the where you're supposed to be dressed. And that was the one that I went home.
Oh, okay. As you
So
should
yeah,
have.
I have that and the chair with the back and the bottom. I don't know what else I have, but that's pretty cool to have.
Yeah.
And it fit me for a long time.
Oh, thank you. And then number 2, what's your name?
Number 2.
I'm Matt.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah, I was at the screening last night. It was really good. I've got a question for Casper. I'm the biggest Blink-182 fan, and I wanted to hear what it was like being directed by Tom DeLonge in Monsters of California.
Oh yeah, I want to hear about that as well.
Tom is Tom is from Blink-182, and he's
Angels and Airwaves.
He's an amazing musician and a good friend. He directs musically, so he would come to me and goes, Casper, in this scene when you're saying this, and then he would go this song, and he'd come to me with this song that he'd have already. So every scene, and he had a whole. Had a melody, but it had a whole rhythm to it within the scene. And I want you to hit it on this kind of like so. Music, it was so brilliant, and I loved it. And also all the dialogue that I was saying was things that were coming out in the alien files of things that were actually said by the people in the military, because I was playing a military guy. So I was saying all lines that had been said, and so it was like it was really cool because he was also sending me videos before they were released of. Some of the space ships and alien footage before it was released. So I saw it like a year. He's like, "Don't show this to anybody. I get a lot of trouble." And then he texted to me, and I'd be like, And then it came out in the news. Some of those, some of the alien stuff. So because he's really involved with that. He's super cool dude. I love him to death.
Thank you.
Hello there, number 3.
Hi, my question is for Denise and Patrick, but Casper may get a bit annoyed with me because it's sort of a plot hole.
He just said some shit about you, and I mean, I'm not
say that
saying
in
I'm not saying
English?
this is fighting, but
Are you questioning? What did you say?
You might get annoyed because my question is about a plot hole, but my question is for Denise and Patrick. Why in the space shuttle, when you crash landed on the planet, was there 2 rifles and only 1 knife?
yeah.
Did you say butthole or plot hole?
Plot hole.
Plot hole. When we crashed, there was 2
Guns and 1 knife.
And 1 knife.
Because they're Fleet, and Fleet doesn't really get a knife.
Well, wait a minute. So we crashed and I just need to understand. Do you know what he's talking
We call
about?
that movie magic.
Mobile infantry we had them attached to our legs, but they had that in there, so he grabbed it out of there as a spare. I'm gonna answer your question so he grabbed it out of there because they didn't have the knives because they're in space, so they don't need to hit the bugs with it from space, the knives. We did. We had to hit, if the enemy cannot push a button, that's for Jake.
Where did my knife come from then?
You grabbed it out of the ship.
Yes,
and you put it in your pants. And
I have a knife in my pants right now. So that's where it came
There
from.
was no knife in his pants.
No knife.
Then he gave that knife to Denise.
Yeah, but shouldn't Denise have had her own knife?
No, he grabbed it out of the ship. He grabbed it out of the little spaceship.
Yeah, but there should have been a second knife.
You're answering questions to a guy that's got a giant worm on his shoulder. God, come on.
And you have a worm on your shoulder and I got my brain sucked out, so I don't know.
I mean, you're right, he didn't get annoyed. That's the main thing we saw.
Thank you for answering my question anyway.
Thank you, dude. Who's at number 4? All right.
Number 4.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
My question's for Casper. Do you know in the first movie, where you were promoted to squad leader and you got one of your teammates killed? For that punishment scene when you were whipped, were you actually whipped?
Yes.
Was that actually what?
Whipped.
Oh, was I actually... I get that question a lot. I know a lot of people that would like to whip me. Some of them are in this room right now.
They're all sitting on the couch.
And, but I wasn't actually whipped. And what's interesting is Tio, who was doing that, trained with that whip, and he kept getting, it was like the longest whip you can have, and they had him like 6 inches away from me, from where the whip would go to me, and they'd measure it out. And you can see in the movie how close it is. And they kept telling him to get closer. And he was freaking out. And one time he did it, and he ran up to me. He said, "I'm so sorry, Casper, I'm so sorry." Because he thought he hit me. But he's like, "But I felt the wind on my back." But he never did hit me. So, no, I wasn't actually getting whipped.
And he says hello to everyone, by the way, Teo.
Yes,
He couldn't be here. And
he's a great guy.
He said he really wished that he could be here, so he says a big hi to all of you.
But...
Do you remember that time you got promoted and killed your friend?
Well, that guy, he actually married the girl that shot him in the head.
So everyone wins.
Breckenridge got married to the girl that walked down Washout Lane because she shot him in the head when I make him take off his helmet because I wasn't rated in that.
When I
they got married.
Like I told him to clear my line of fire, and he's like, "Oh, my helmet, I can't hear." And he takes his helmet off.
And then they got married because she really blew his mind.
Hello, number 1. What is your name? What is your question?
My name's James Edwards, and this is to the majority of the cast, with the exception of Michael. You understand why I say...
Whoa, back up. What did you do? Fucking say it?
You can't say the majority except one.
Not you, Michael.
It was like a big blockbuster movie for the majority of you all at the time. And it just made me wonder, how did you cope with all the stunt work, and how did you deal with Paul Verhoeven's style of directing? Because he was that, kind of eccentric type of director. I was just wondering how you dealt with it.
I think I could say that we were all just so young and excited that it didn't matter.
And great.
We were just happy to be there and just going for it and having a good time.
Honestly, we didn't have a whole lot to compare it to. We weren't a veteran actor, a seasoned actor like Ironside was at the time. He had already done like a slew of films, and he'd been working for years and years, and this was like our first, second, third film, basically. So we were just so... First film, first big one for Denise, first big one for you. It was my third. So, I mean, it was all very exciting. So we really were just there to make a terrific movie, and we were so young and somewhat green, that it was just like, just tell us what to do, point us in the right direction, and we're just gonna fucking do whatever you say. Oh, excuse my friend.
But I'll tell you
Like, whatever you say, it was great. It was awesome.
And I know you weren't including Michael in that, but I mean, Michael was he's been and always will be a mentor for me, you know, and I still hear his voice in my head. Sometimes it's because he's right next to me. But sometimes it's just
Or right
because
behind him.
that's even scarier. If you know him
what to do
from a photo shoot, then you know.
It was my second time with Paul. I had done Total Recall with him, and he's an artist. He really is. I'm a bit of a whore, you know, I've done like 300 and something films. But I've only worked with maybe 4 or 5 what I call true artists. And you've heard me say this shit before.
Yes, so many
And
times.
what it is I define an artist that gets a subject matter, you know, and he goes through a medium, which whether it's art, poetry, a film, theater, and into the audience's mind with the least amount of distortion. Doesn't matter what it's comedy, theater, you know, drama, any of that, but they have control of the whole, you know, the whole apparatus. And a lot of directing isn't. It's like it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to make a movie. But when you're working with a Paul Verhoeven, or a Walter Hill, you know, or a Tony Scott and stuff like that, they know exactly what they want all the time. And it's such a delight to be able to trust that. And I think you guys spoke that. You got that sense that Paul was in charge, he knew what he wanted, and it wasn't like, do it this way because you're an asshole or because you know what I mean? You really felt safe. Look, acting is like you gotta be a child to be an actor. There has to be a childlike behavior, a childlike belief system. And to have somebody who you trust in authority that creates that space for you, that's safe, it's a fucking gift. Don't hear that. And, they're going to be like, I'm going to use all my words, I need them. And it actually stands for fornication under carnal knowledge. It's okay. But, and truthfully, Paul's an artist. He knows what he wants, he controls the medium, and he gets, you know, and very rarely will he basically say, well, what do you think? And I think we all have one of those moments.
No, he definitely doesn't do that.
You know, once you started to trust somebody, we were on it for 6 months. And once he trusts you for a while, and you build a rhythm and you understand, they'll say, well, what do you think?
Maybe if you're close in age, we were just punks. He was like, shut up.
No, some are
listen to
smarter
what
than
I'm
others.
saying."
That's just,
Okay, so
some are more pliable, some are more accepting. Yeah.
So a bunch of us trained before we trained in acting. I studied Meisner technique for a few years in New York before I moved out to LA. So you did too. Okay, so you know that.
I did my 2 years.
Okay, yeah, okay, same. So with Meisner, it's about being present and putting the focus on your partner, doing a lot of exercises so that you can make them the most important, and or at least it's seen, and so that your reaction is very organic and it's real and honest. So I'm listening to you. We did this blue shirt, black shirt with all these. Whatever. Anyway, so coming out of Meisner technique and learning this technique, I'm skewered by the arachnid, and I'm dying. And Paul says, "Hey, Casper, rip the pincer out of this, and this. I want you to scream." And I'm saying, coming out of Meisner, I'm like, "But I have a hole in my lung, and it's probably collapsed, and I probably don't have." And he, Dina, stop being so difficult, just scream! And I had to trust. And I was like, because I'm thinking I wouldn't have any air to scream, but like Michael said.
And it worked.
It totally worked. It made sense. It made sense for the satire. It makes sense for all the things. He wanted bigger. He wanted big emotions and things like that. And thank God, because if I was just like, it wouldn't have been as spectacular.
It's also like telling